Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. What's going on, Divine Ones? Y'all know who it is. It's your girl, Goddess Elizabeth. And I am here today to do some TikTok reviews on these drones. Because these drones are getting out of hand now. They're popping up everywhere. And you know me, I have to add my little 2 cents to anything that's coming on across this table, baby. So, without further much from me, let's get into these TikToks and let's see what people are saying about these drones.
So the most popular theory right now relating to the drone sightings is that they are searching for a dirty bomb or something related to a nuclear weapon. That this is a national security issue that we're dealing with right now, which would make a lot of sense. You can't go and tell the public that a dirty bomb or a nuclear warhead, and some people are saying this may have come out of Ukraine, attached to the war in Ukraine with Russia. I don't know who would have brought it in. I mean, name your list of actors that want to get us into World War III, and you can go ahead and put the U.S. government into that category if you'd like. But it would make sense that if a weapon, a terrorist weapon, were to sneak past all of our available warning systems and have landed in and had come in offshore through, whatever means, that these drones are being sent up in a frantic search to try to track down this nuclear weapon dirty bomb. And it makes sense why the government wouldn't go and tell anybody. Now, there's a couple of ways you can look at that. One, I would like transparency. And I think if you had the public that were out looking for this as well and are made aware, then you'd have a better opportunity to go and track down this potential dirty bomb nuclear weapon. Then again, you go and tell the public, especially in these areas where the drones are concentrated, and you're going to see a lot of panic take place. Now, one of the reasons why I have a difficulty with this particular theory is that, and again, I don't put a lot of faith and trust in the government, but just hear me out here. There was a report that the Department of Defense and the FBI were going to be ramping up their efforts to look into these drones because they don't know what they are either. Now, of course, the Defense Department, the FBI, and the government could be lying to us just to try to assuage our fears over these while they look for this dirty bomb. But this is also something that plays out much more like a Taylor Sheridan, Paramount Plus show or something that you would see in a movie than it does in real life. That would mean that there are individuals within the Department of Defense and the FBI that are being lied to by our own government in order to go and perpetuate this mythical search for for these drones, for the origin of these drones. Then you would have the government lying to the government unless everybody is just in on it. And if everybody is just in on it, then I'm also surprised that there hasn't been some sort of leak, because things leak all the time relating to what the real issue is. So, I don't know. At first, when I saw that theory, that was one of the first theories that I saw. When this whole thing erupted and really started to reach a fever pitch, one of the first theories that I saw was from a couple of different accounts on X, and you can't put any stock or credibility on them. People can say whatever, can say anything. Was that they were searching for some type of nuclear material or a dirty bomb. And now you kind of get, ahead a couple of weeks, and there are experts that are making the rounds, manufacturers of drones, both private and for the government, who say that that's what they believe is going on, that they're searching for some type of nuclear weapon or dirty bomb. Either way, this is just one of the wildest stories ever. And I'll wrap up on this. If this is just some big mass hysteria event, that's worthy of a discussion as well, and a lengthy one. Because everybody is swept up in this right now, and everybody's talking about it. And every time I think the story's reached its apex mountain, that mountain just gets a little bit higher and a little bit higher. Hey, you can listen to my weekly radio show Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Central Time on the iHeart Radio app. Just search for John J.O.N. Justice. And I produce daily content apart from that on all podcast platforms. Just look for my name. You can also follow me and watch my videos up on YouTube at John Justice, J-O-N as well. And be sure to subscribe to my TikTok channel. Regardless of what you do, I hope you're safe. And thank you for watching.
Them drones that y'all seeing in Miami and Brooklyn and New Jersey or whatever else, Those are government drones, and they are here because extraterrestrials are starting to make more of an appearance. Just know though, extraterrestrials have always been here since the Nephilim and since the Watchers. This shit has always been weird and spiritual before physical. But now in this frequency that we in, extraterrestrials are starting to make more of an appearance. I've been seeing them for the past 2 months, 3 months, and they just now putting these drones out. They're putting these drones out to gauge what the fuck is going on in the ethers, what the fuck is actually going on, because it's some real shit going on, y'all, and I've been seeing it. I've been made a video way before the drones even came out. So I'm just here to let y'all know, some of them videos is fucking fake. The ones that's coming from the ocean, coming out of the ocean, that's an actual drone show. The other ones where you can see clear footage is actual government drones that the government have in order to look at these UFOs or these extraterrestrial objects. So with that being said, just be careful of what y'all paying attention to. Be careful of what y'all watching, because it is a lot of like just anticipation with UFOs or extraterrestrials, and that could lead to weaponizing this type of information and using it against the people. So just be aware, y'all. ETs have always been here, but just know that they are starting to make more of an appearance, more than they have been before. And it's gonna come with the government doing some strange shit. One love.
Before I got on here and said something, so now I'm gonna say something. So we got these now, right? And me personally, I just been trying to put some things together, you know, just seeing if anybody else is gonna put it together, or if they're just gonna jump on like I'm gonna jump on it, but I'm gonna jump on it. So we got these here going on now, okay? I don't know what the hell this is. They say it's drones, UAPs. They ain't shot it down yet. Space Force ain't letting us know what's in the air. What the fuck Space Force here for then, you know what I'm saying? But that's another story. But it's going on here. Now remember this, okay? This was something coming off the coast of Texas, right? I think it was either Texas or Antarctica, but it was moving around a lot. Ocean monitoring system does appear to originate from the Antarctica area deep down in the southern hemisphere on April 9th, the day after the eclipse of 2024 around 2 p.m. And on April 11th, it suddenly disappears off the map. Now this is all underwater. This thing, which is the size of Texas, traveled down here between South America and the Antarctica and then up through the Atlantic Ocean, implying that there is a very large field of waves measuring about so many feet. I can't see that. So there's a lot to read on this, right? But my main thing with this one is we got to look at everything that's been going on with the water thus far. Okay, so we know that there is restricted Air Force Base in Antarctica because they have some, you know, deep military secrets about aliens and discoveries of aliens in Antarctica. And then we also have this thing going on with climate control, so there's a lot of melting ice in Antarctica. So after the eclipse, this thing starts moving around. Now we got drones. But let's not forget, okay, let's not forget what happened at Bayside in Miami when they said they seen aliens inside the mall in Bayside, and they had like the whole FPD out there trying to shut it down and saying that it was a bunch of kids doing fireworks. So it's too much that I'm looking at, too much I'm thinking of on so many different levels, because for one, why we ain't got nobody on here saying they got to download from any aliens? If these are aliens, if these are UAPs, we should have somebody saying they've gotten downloads from some of these aliens telepathically or something, letting us know what's going on. So for that instance, that's another reason why I'm thinking this is a artificial setup. I don't think this is a realistic setup here. Now they said that I think a governor of some state sent up a drone, and when they got close to the thing, it made it, battery shut off, and it made it fall to the floor, and it just electrocuted and shut off, with I'm thinking an EMP possibly weapon. And then I heard another TikTok video that was saying that it went over a certain highway and turned out the lights on the highway. So I just feel this is artificial. I'm sorry, I just really feel this is artificial. I feel like this is another fear-mongering platform that they're making using their own weaponry, claiming that they don't know, but they're not doing anything to find out, saying it's not hostile, saying it's not going to give any type of hostility towards humankind, it's not showing no type of violence or anything, but they don't know what it is. We don't know if something's in it. We don't know if this thing right here is underwater and it's just found its way back underwater and it's sending these things out, because they're saying it's coming out of the water. So what if this was a mothership? What if this was a mothership that came from Antarctica as that snow began to melt, and they had to get the hell from up there, right? They had to get the hell on, because they knew on that eclipse probably hit a certain portal or a certain gate in some sort of ancient key that, once the sun and this eclipse day comes, and the ice will been thawed out, and that sun hit that certain thing, like what that movie is, Fifth Element, and how the sun had to hit all the things at the one time. And so maybe what if after this eclipse it released something, and it allowed the ship to regain this energy, the people or the beings on it, woke up, and maybe in Antarctica, right, while they was up there, and they got all this information now, because drones just started being a relevant thing, possibly like 5 years, maybe 6 years ago, where everybody was starting to learn about drones. So maybe they found that technology in one of those spaceships up there, and they started replicating. And now that we are seeing these drones, they've shown it to us so many times now, it doesn't affect us. And so maybe this is some real aliens, or some observation thing that's going on with another race of beings, and they're observing us from a distance in a certain way. And because we don't feel it's a threat, because we already seen drones now, it's been programmed into our mind that drones are just drones, we don't see it as a threat. We just look at it, oh wow, it's drones, but we don't really know what's going on. But I'm just trying to put some things here together. A lot of stuff with the water, and then you're thinking about a few years ago when the water in the Gulf Coast was like so much degrees, like 150 degrees, like a spa down there. So it's like and then the fire in the Gulf of Mexico, so you really have to put all this stuff together that's been going on over the years, and if there is, let's just say, I'm gonna go deep here. I'm a deep thinker. So let's say we have a race of humans that may be on the other side of, hidden Earth. Is that the term I'm thinking of? Hidden Earth, or I know, y'all know what I'm talking about. And because the way we're polluting our waters and the way we're doing our waters, let's remember, not too long ago, Japan released all their toxic nuclear water into the Pacific Ocean. So we really fucking up the waters here. So what if it's starting to leak into their atmosphere, and they're like, you know what, we got to come and do something about this, because y'all misguided ways are starting to affect our world, which is perfect. And now our unperfect world is becoming unperfect because of y'all. Because I remember one time it was a girl that came on TikTok. I know y'all probably like, what this girl talking about? But I don't have all the TikToks. You can go look about it, what I'm saying. There was this one girl that had did a download from a water being that was saying, you know, and me as well. One time I remember I got a little conversation going on with the water being that was like, before humans came, everything was perfect. The water was perfect, the earth was perfect, everything was perfect. But then one day we came up out of the surface and we looked and humans was there and the world was different and our waters was different. So maybe this is them saying, you know, enough is enough. We don't know. We don't know. And the government show ain't showing us. I'm very proud of that one governor that did try to send a drone up to see what the hell was going on, but it gave an MPM, shot it down. You know, don't come near, and then it flies away. And you know, it's just amazing to see how Space Force Donald Trump don't have any input or feedback on what these are, and they're supposed to be monitoring our skies, right? That's what they're there for. Space Force, not Navy, but Space Force. You know, so we got the Marines, and the Marines are seeing where they're, you know, can they get closer to where this mass was last seen, and see if they can find something in that region. If this mass went down into the trenches, into another dark trench, into the waters that we have not yet been able to tap into and have not yet, you know, made a frontier into. Look, I'm Goddess Elizabeth, and I got a lot of questions, and I put things together. Y'all come on and give me some feedback, because great minds think alike, and I can't do all this thinking by myself. I mean, I can, but what fun is that? Leave some comments. What y'all think? And as you can see, this is Bayside, literally surrounded by water. Am I reaching? I don't think so. Putting shit together, though.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows, and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster. Want to know the truth? They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Have you received an intelligence briefing on the drones?
I don't want to comment on that.
If the Space Force doesn't go to space, then what do they actually do? That's a good question. While it may sound like it focuses primarily on space exploration, it actually has a completely different mission. For starters, they have satellite operations. They manage and operate the nation's military satellites. This includes communication satellites, GPS satellites, and those that gather intelligence. The Space Force also focuses on space-based surveillance. What they'll do is they'll monitor space in order to detect any potential threats to any space assets or any of our satellites. This includes tracking objects in orbit and ensuring safe operations for satellites. There's also missile warning, and basically they'll operate systems that detect missile launches around the world, which is crucial for early warning and national defense. Now there's also cybersecurity, and their focus is on protecting space-based products and their networks from cyber threats. There's also space launch operation, and they basically oversee launches for military purposes, making sure that satellites and other space assets are deployed in an orbit successfully. And although it hasn't happened yet, the Space Force is tasked with developing capabilities for protecting U.S. assets in space, and if necessary, conduct defensive and offensive space operations. Now in my next video, we're going to talk about what their deployments look like.
The biggest exercise in Space Force history was launched in Colorado last week, and the U.S. Air Force is placing an emphasis on large-scale exercises that are more realistic, according to the commander of Space Training and Readiness Command, otherwise known as STARCOM. STARCOM is also interested in establishing a live range on orbit where Guardians can practice flying actual satellites.
I promise I'm not even going to embellish. So what I do in the Space Force as a captain. So I build PowerPoint slides. Oh, he thought it was going to be some... I build slides. But when I'm not building slides, normally like Nick Fury comes around to shake our hand. So tomorrow we hang out with Captain America, Optimus Prime. Who else? Black Panther. Thor. Loki. Loki's a good guy now, so big shout out to him. And besides that, yeah, I think we're talking how Thanos is our #1 enemy. But I thought he was dead. Surprisingly, he's not dead. He's into multiple, like, universe or multiverse. So that's the plan we have to come up with. So I'm a very tactical guy when I was in the Army. So they want me to help plan out a mission analysis, you know, IPB 1, step 1 through 4. So that's what I'll be running them through. It's very exciting because tomorrow I'm not going to be in uniform. So that's what I do in the Space Force. Hope that helps. If you want to join, let me know. I got you.
So the drones are coming from the inside of the ocean.
After seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat, and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
I see one right here. Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before. Wow. In more than a month since these reports started, the federal government doesn't know what they are either. What's your message to the White House?
My message: come to the Jersey Shore. I know it's wintertime, but come see what we see, and then, you know, maybe have a better appreciation for why our residents are concerned.
There's another one. For almost a month, swarms of drones the size of small cars have been spotted over parts of New Jersey, alarming local residents.
I look to my left and I see 2 big drones. They were propeller driven, going very slowly.
And unnerving lawmakers who say they popped up in at least 10 counties. The issue prompting a meeting Wednesday attended by roughly 100 mayors and state representatives.
Are you telling me that in America, somebody can start flying drones and we have no clue what's going on?
Garden state leaders say they're confounded by the federal government's response and that of their own governor, who's preaching calm. Perhaps even more concerning, military officials say they've documented at least 11 unauthorized drone incursions over nearby Picatinny Arsenal, a weapons development center. And President-elect Trump's Bedminster Golf Club is also in the area. Local police have been launching their own drones into the sky to give chase. So far, the mysterious drones continue to elude them.
No, it's not the drones that may be the UFO, it's the freaking orbs. This is actually recorded by an ABC7 news crew down in New York City yesterday. No kidding around. These orbs may be plasma orbs that are originating from us or from somewhere else. Just not sure. I'm meteorologist Todd Gross, and let me tell you the problem. The biggest problem of all is that, you see this? We're not sure that this is an orb. This is taken with iPhones. And when you point iPhones and other cameras at bright lights, it makes it look very similar to the way the actual orbs are taken by professional news crews. So the whole thing is getting mixed up with a ton of misreports. In other words, reports of things that actually aren't the orbs and aren't the drones. So let me just clarify what is going on, because a lot of folks get confused. They see conspiracy theories day in and day out. We finally have something that isn't really a conspiracy theory. It's really a mystery in the skies. There have been drones for weeks that are 4 feet wide, 4 feet long. They're roughly square, and they've been emanating mostly in New Jersey, but they're in many other states now as well. Some folks have seen them actually spraying things. Now, in addition, there are these mysterious orbs which are just floating around, and sometimes the drones have been seen to approach those orbs. And that really deepens this mystery, because earlier I did a video on what the possibilities were, but if there's some sort of fight going on, or if the drones are out trying to figure out what those are or to disable those. This sounds crazy. It sounds like conspiracy theory stuff. But to be quite honest, there's really something going on for a change that we do not know what it is. And yes, we certainly need to find out. Somebody is keeping a very big secret from the public. I agree with you guys on that.
You've heard about the drones over New Jersey and these drones spotted all over the country, but there's something really, really strange also happening in Connecticut.
There's no mistaking that as a Chinese lantern, a drone.
And it might not be drones.
It was very bright.
We broke the story earlier this month where a police officer told us about some strange lights he saw in the sky, almost like an orb. He even got video. Well, now there are more witnesses corroborating his story. I spent days out in Connecticut with a former FBI agent, a Navy veteran, and a former NASA scientist to help break down what's really going on. You'll see my exclusive story tonight. News Nation, 10 o'clock on Banfield. Go to newsnationnow.com to find your channel.
Okay, it's me and my thoughts again. Up this early this morning. Alright, so just bear with me with this. So, my thing is, I think this is like a, hold on, let me get my words. It's another trickery, right? And the reason I'm saying this is because I'm gonna help y'all. I'm gonna put it all together in 1 minute, right? So let's say the government went to Antarctica. If y'all seen the video I did yesterday, y'all understand why I'm going back here. Let's say the government went to Antarctica, got the technology for drones, replicated it because, you know, they kind of figured that that species or that alien or extraterrestrial or interterrestrial life force, their first line of defense was those drones. So then you see them, you know, going ahead and replicate it because, you know, some great minds in DARPA and, you know, science and, you know, back there in them black labs and things of that, black government, whatever you want to call it. They kind of understood and cracked codes to realize that this thing will resurface in a date and time and there's nothing they can do and stop it. Like, let's just say that's why they was trying so hard to recreate the sun and recreate the moon so they can try to alter those eclipses that happened in those days, right? Okay, but they couldn't do it. So the eclipse happened in April and the abnormally it left and it, you know, got its power and it started, you know, back moving around. Now, the United States of America is a hostile corporation, okay? Been hostile to its residents, hostile to foreigners. We're known to be bullies, right? Well, I ain't gonna say we because the United States is known to be bullies. Now, these beings or these, you know, other drones have not shown us any hostility, but now people are shooting at the drones, and I'm going to be the one to say that the drones that they're actually going to hit are going to be the drones that are the replicas of what the United States was able to do. That's why they're able to hit them, because the ones that are not replicas but are the real ones, they're going to have a certain type of energy field around them to where you're not going to be able to penetrate them because they're way more advanced than the ones that the United States have. Now, to further feed this theory of they're not a hostile group, but because the United States is, it's because remember when they had all of these sightings over nuclear plants, and these beings would shut down these nuclear plants and make sure that they would not be able to launch these nuclear plants. I mean, these nuclear weapons. Like I keep saying plants, but these nuclear weapons. Remember when they had these statements where they're like, all 4 of our rocket heads or our missile heads shut down at one time, and it happened like 6 different places, but at each place there was a being over it. So if they wanted to destroy us or wanted to do something to us, they would have did it then. So I'm saying that the United States is going to make it seem as if the ones that are the authentic ones are hostile, and we have to protect ourselves now. So now we have to go to war. So it's a war that's going on in so many different parallels, intergalactic, spiritual. You know, you got the war going over in Iran and Ukraine, and what's above, so below. Y'all know. Let's get into it now, because all of this is now really esoteric. This is where you got to get out of your just body and soul. Like, you got to realize there's other things out here now. So when you're realizing that as above, so below, and you realize that there are so many different parallels to this one verse that we're in, but it's called a universe because it's more than one, you then realize that there's multiple wars going on. And this right here, because of what's going on with all of these trades with Donald Trump coming into office, and then you got the United States funding all of these warheads to Ukraine, and all of these new things that's going to happen in 2025, I just feel like it was bound to happen. I feel like, and I've heard some other people saying it, and I'm going to really agree to this. I feel like they said, look, we're going to give y'all up until this time to let people know that our existence is real, because we are coming back, and that's no doubt. Like, they've been knowing they was coming back, but because they didn't want us to know, they just didn't say anything. And so I feel like the government is going to go like tooth and nail, tooth and bone, to try to make this as much of a cover-up as possible. But when you know their track record and you understand their patterns, you'll start understanding how they do things. Like, I feel like the United States government is a big-ass manifesting generator, bro. I swear. I just feel like all the lies. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm just going to say I feel like so many lies are going to fall. So many lies about to fall. But I also don't want to keep our minds off of what's going on with AI too, because let's think about it. What if AI hacked some drones? I mean, look, come on, look now. That's why I don't be needing to make no videos, because I be going here and I be going there, because I got to figure out where it's at. I got to get to the root so I can start stacking on some shit. That was too much to really think about. Come on, y'all. Great minds got to start thinking alike. What y'all thinking? What y'all thinking? How can we build off of this so that we can get some answers? Because, you know, they got scientists that's trying to build off of this, and I kind of feel like they know what's going on though. That's my thing. It's like they know, but they won't tell us. Like they knew before COVID came, and like if y'all been watching what the World Economic Forum they got planned for 2025 with the new pandemic virus called SEERS, SEERS. So they know what they're gonna do with that. So it's like I kind of feel like they know, and it's like there's an authentic and there's an artificial that's at play with this, because the authentic is not going to be hostile. Because they want to be hostile, they would have been hostile a long time ago. It's the United States. And then let's think about, you know, the Grand Dukes and the wizards and the lieutenants that, you know, reign over those regions when you start to think about a more spiritual level. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to realize that there's spirits that reign over different regions in their realms. So if they have been, you know, in cahoots with a race that's, as we can tell, really don't like humans and really are becoming an unhealthy platform for this earth, I would say for another force to say, you know, it's time for us to step in, because, you know, we see what's taking place. And Earth was once a all organic world, and now Earth is becoming inorganic. And say, you know, just thinking logically, what if there's a race that wants this Earth to stay organic? You know, because they see how a lot of planets in our past, like, you know, Jupiter, Mars, how this certain race may have come to that planet and made that planet the way it is now, desolate and unable to have, you know, organic life. Now, there's other planets out there, you know, like Super Earth 1634, which where I'm from, but it's like, you just have to think on too many levels with this. You have to understand how many rituals and how much brainwashing and how many lies and how many traps have been set up for us at birth. So now, I don't know. I do know, but I'm going to leave it alone. Y'all, please, add some comments. Don't have me out here talking about this by myself. And not to forget, but I also want to mention, let's not forget about the overwhelming sightings of cryptids that we've been having lately. I'm just saying. There's, because the veil is no longer. Okay. All right, I'm going for this.
Okay. I'm working right now, but I can't stop watching these drone videos and thinking about the drones in New Jersey and what's going on. And this might sound a little tinfoil hatty, but I want to put this out there. We're all trying to figure this out, right? So it's either the United States military confusing us, whatever, trying to get control of us. Project Bluebeam, everyone knows what that is. If you don't, you live under a rock. You need to go look into it. Or, here's the fun theory that I'm hoping, low-key hoping, is true. Also forgot to mention, piggybacking off of like the other possibilities of the government, this could be a distraction, or it could be China and Russian drones now in the United States, which is a possibility, yes, but I feel like there would be, or should be, more drastic measures of getting these drones out of our sky, unless the government wants Russia and China to invade. I don't know, whatever. But my fun theory is aliens, these drones. Everyone's been trying to zoom in on them, get a clear photo of them, and they can't because the lights are too bright. There have been some videos that I've seen where people have zoomed in on them, and when they do, they become just an orb. And there's no physical drone shape or airplane shape or craft shape. So my theory, this goes back a few weeks ago, we discovered now that there is a large amount of plasma above the pyramids, and a lot of theories out there say that aliens are made up of plasma. So with that, again, do some research on the whole plasma thing, but aliens, if they are plasma, then they can basically cloak themselves into different things. So this might be a stretch, but if these drones, if we can't figure out what these drones are, we have no explanation of them. What if they are the aliens cloaking themselves to be drones? And that's why we can't put our own drones up in the air. We can't bring these drones down. We can't figure out what they are. And that's why when we zoom in on them, all we see is plasma. So at some point, if we can't figure out who they are, where they're coming from, what the point of them being here is, if we start shooting at these things and they are aliens, December 3rd. Because December 3rd, I think, made people really start to pay attention. I think this has been happening before December 3rd, but the whole prediction of December 3rd being the start of a war in the skies between the military and these aliens, that's when we really started paying attention and realizing and recording and looking up, and we're all awake now. So if that's the case, that whole December 3rd from 2009 Joe Rogan Trump podcast, everything, that's all coming true, which is scary to think about, because we're gonna go to war with aliens. The fuck? Also, it's not just happening in the US, it's happening in the UK and other countries. There's people posting videos all around the world. So to say that it's our government trying to fool us and distract us, it's partially accurate, yes, but why would this be happening in other countries? And I have seen people saying the US, have military bases or, spots in other countries, so we could also be doing the same thing in other countries and stuff, but everything seems so far-fetched. Or maybe what I just described is Project Bluebeam. I don't know. Just my thoughts. Put in the chat below if you agree. Share your thoughts. I don't know. Call me crazy. Whatever.
Am I the only one? But I knew when they dropped this right here, we lived in a clown world. I didn't know much. I was younger. But I knew when they announced the Space Force, I was like, bro, what do you guys need a Space Force for? before I knew the stuff that I'm talking about now on my page, I was like, what do you guys need a Space Force for? Like, what type of Star Trek, Star Wars assembly is this? Like, even the name sounds bogus. Like, Space Force, bro? Y'all couldn't have came up with something more fire than that? Space Force? Okay, sure. Do any of you guys actually know anyone who's enlisted in the Space Force? Can you guys give me some information in the comment section? Are any of you guys listening to this in the Space Force, or is it top secret, not for people like me to know about? Either way, it's starting to make sense why they created this a few years back, because now all of a sudden we're seeing all these UFOs pop up, which I'll be talking about as well. Nothing else makes sense. I've heard people talk about, oh, it's for satellite warfare, and like, bro, all right, be quiet. Like, I'm not hearing that. But it does make sense because they're trying to get people ready for a new phase of reality. I'm not even going to give you guys a whole spiel. You could check my page, but the Bible does say that in the last days, there's going to be a strong delusion cast upon all those who didn't want to come and love the truth, which is Jesus Christ. So, I mean, like I said, Space Force is wild corny, but it might be an integral part of the plan. Let me know what you think in the comments. God bless.
Well, there y'all have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have just did a quick review and some reaction to some of these speculations to what some people may be assuming of what's going on with these drones. Again, no one really knows what this is. We all have our assumptions till we have dead on facts. But these are just some of the TikToks that I came across and want to share them with you. Please leave your comments below. And if you haven't already, why haven't you liked and subscribed to the channel? This is what we do. So until the next one, Divine Ones, thank you for joining. You stay blessed, stay favored, and stay up. Bye, Divine Ones. Mwah.